Well, good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Just before we get started, just want to let you know, you see it on the screen there, that before we begin that be advised that this meeting is going to be recorded. A copy of the recording will be made available after the event for training purposes. If you do not wish to be in the recording, please disable your camera and rename yourself in the participant list now.
Does that include witness protection, Mike?
Yes, Larry. All right, Tony, it's all you.
All right, well, good evening, everybody. Thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules, I'm sure, to be with us this evening for our first ever online district assembly. I'm sure this night is going to be long remembered. And really, there's nothing new on the news that you haven't seen recently anyway. So we're happy that you're with us tonight. Hopefully you're going to learn something tonight and have some camaraderie virtually. And again, we all thank you for being with us. I wanted to start our evening. President-elect Andrew Saccone from the Newburgh Rotary Club is going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of
of
the
the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Andrew. Before I introduce our district governor, Cindy Kish, I want to welcome and introduce Sophie Dangerfield, if she's on the call at this point. Sophie is one of those indispensable people at Rotary International. She's our club and district support officer, and she's like the Shell answer person. She has all the answers. And Sophie, welcome on the call, and we appreciate your support and all that you do for our district and the clubs. Now it's my pleasure to introduce our district governor, Cindy Kish. Cindy has done an amazing job leading our district in a very difficult time. She did her club visits face-to-face in the old traditional way, had a great service symposium, a great shelter box sleepover in this last fall, and then had to recreate the district governor role during this COVID-19 crisis. There was no roadmap for this. She has been a great support to me as I prepare to become district governor in July 1. And I want to thank her for all that she's done, and please give her a big round of applause. It's not easy leading these days.
Thank you so much, Tony. Those are very kind words from you, and it takes a team. And we are a great team. So thank you so much. Good evening, everyone, and thank you again for joining us at our district's virtual assembly. We appreciate your ability to be flexible with us during these difficult times. Our district leadership team has worked very hard to bring you a series of weekly meetings that will be both informative and provide you with the opportunity to share ideas. This year has certainly brought some challenges to us. However, with challenges, we can seize the opportunities to connect more than ever. We can pivot our perspective and see things in a different light. This year, we have laid the foundation of collaboration and teamwork at the district level. We see that we are stronger together, and we can get more accomplished for all of our members. We are proud of the changes that have been made this year and excited to see how over the next several years we can build on these changes and leave our district stronger than it has ever been. Thank you all for your support this year. It's been a fantastic, fantastic year. It's been filled with amazing service, with a lot of laughter, and most importantly, stronger bonds between all of us. It's now my pleasure to turn it back over to Tony. mute.
About that. Sorry about that. Sorry about that, folks. So thanks, Cindy, again. I want to thank our entire district leadership team, our committee chairs, our assistant governors, the district executive board. You know, we have a fantastic team that will serve our clubs for many years to come. District Governor Cindy, District Governor nominee Mike Palashik, District Governor nominee designee Larry Palant, past District Governor, District Trainer, and Foundation Chair Louis Turpin, past District Governor and District Finance Chair Drew Kessler, past District Governor Penny Byron, past District Governor Knute Johnson. I want to especially thank Mike for hosting this Zoom tonight and for all the amazing work he has put in. He's become quite a Zoom expert, and you may hear more about that in the weeks to come. I want to turn the program over to Mike, and he'll take it from here.
Thank you, Tony. It's hard to do trying to do two at once here. Am I showing up?
Mike, hit yourself
Yes.
with the spotlight.
Give me 1 second. Okay, how about now? All right. It's hard to do run the meeting and speak at the meeting. Well, good evening, everyone. For some time, we've been talking about how to move Rotary into the. Oh, let me actually give you me too.
Very good.
For some time, we've been talking about how to move Rotary into the future. Well, I'm here to tell you tonight that the future has come. The future is now. We've had to quickly adapt to this online way of meeting. And for some, it's been an exciting way to connect with their family, their friends, and fellow Rotarians. For others, we feel completely zoomed out sometimes. We've heard from many clubs that they have been using a new virtual style of meetings. And many wonder how Rotary will look once we get to the new normal. I think our zone director, Jeffrey Cataract, said it well in a meeting last week, and I'm paraphrasing. We have a way that we did Rotary before. The way that we are doing Rotary now is completely different. There is a hybrid here somewhere. We can't just drift out of this pandemic and slide slowly back to where we were. We need to take the best of where we were and the best of where we are and come up with a new hybrid. The future came and found us, and we need to take advantage of it. We are used to just holding meetings for us. It's time to reinvent our club model and at times make Rotary more outward facing. We hope that throughout this series of virtual assemblies, you will gain an appreciation for the new way of connecting people. You will find a recording of this evening's presentation on our new YouTube channel, which is Rotary District 7210. Yet another way we are utilizing technology to connect us all virtually. In the near future, we will offer you some best practices for using technology like Zoom for your own club. Together, as a team, we are very excited that you chose to be here with us tonight. I personally like to thank you, and I'd like to turn it over to Larry Powell.
Thanks, Mike. As my fellow teammates have said, yes, we are living through a time in our lives that nobody previously experienced or could have predicted. What you're going to be involved in for the next 4 weeks during our district assembly has been well thought out to bring you an experience that could be thought-provoking and, well, being educational. You'll hear great speakers and break out into smaller groups for, we hope, meaningful discussions and exchange of ideas. As we say in Rotary, let's not reinvent the wheel. If something works for another club, whether it be a service project utilizing CDC guidelines, a project idea, or a new type of meeting format, by all means, share it with everyone in your breakout room. Clubs should consider meeting online. Clubs could consider meeting online, having a watch party of a movie or a documentary, and have a discussion the following week. If a club member is a great chef, Mike, have an online cooking demo. Cindy, play a game of Rotary Jeopardy. By the way, if you need that, that'll be posted on the district website. We're all working for the same final outcome, that we are people of action doing good in the world. Thanks. Tony, back to you.
Thank you, Larry, and thank you to the entire governor string. We have been working extremely well together, and it's really gratifying. We would be on a big stage right now, you know, introducing our program, but you're in the comforts of your own homes or offices. Okay, so what I'd like to do now is review the district leadership team for 2020-2021 district goals and important dates. So if we can get that up on the screen, Mike, that would be awesome.
I don't have a specific slide for that. Do you want me to share that? I can.
Yeah, if we could, that would be good.
You
I
keep
think
talking. I will work on that.
Okay. All right. So I can tell you briefly the district goals for 2020-21 while Mike teased that up. We basically, I'll say, mirrored or continued some of the broader headings that Cindy used in her year and in previous years as well. So every club participating in district service days, every club to increase attraction and engagement, better known as membership, every club to apply for a foundation district and or global grant, every club and every Rotarian to support the Rotary Foundation. There it is, magic, the magic of Zoom, the magic of Mike. So I'm about midway through on the right side of this page. Every club and every Rotarian to support the foundation. Every club to contribute to End Polio Now. That's ongoing. I'm sure somehow COVID will get it in there someplace. Every club to support our youth programs, and every club to ensure effective club administration. So you can, this will be sent out. We'll send this out to all presidents, AGs, and you can use this as your roadmap for 2020-2021. Again, it's very similar to what we have used in the past with some modifications, and the secret is in the execution of it, right? And monitoring and making sure that your clubs and regions are on the goals. This is our roadmap. On the left-hand side of this page of this document is our district leadership team, the executive board. It's there, the program directors, and our assistant governor and assistant governor aides. So all these people really don't have the word no in their dictionary or their vocabulary. These are all yes folks that have stepped up, as are many of you on this call tonight that are presidents, president-elects, members, you're leaders in your own right, and we thank you for everything you do every day you're a Rotarian. We're trying to pull this district together and move it forward, and I think with your help, we're going to do that. I know the leadership team is singing out of the same hymn book. Our program directors and our AGs are also there. It's kind of like a big orchestra. And if everyone does their part and plays their section, you know, we're going to put a beautiful concert out as we have in the past and will continue to do. We have a great district and we all should be very proud of that. Let's look at our service days. That was started, I think last year, 2 years ago in that neck of the woods, and here they are. So we've converted. The first district day is dedicated to COVID-19. Now this replaced the opioid day. However, I will tell you that you know, this is an individual club decision that is taken collectively or executed collectively throughout the district. So you can use an opioid topic that is related to COVID. That's the first one, and then you can see the rest of the days up there. Again, the district symposium right now is still on. As far as we know, it's not going to be virtual, but you know, hang around for a couple of weeks and let's see what goes on. And the rest of the dates are out there. We hope we'll be able to have an international convention this year in Taipei. The one in Hawaii didn't make it, although there will be a virtual convention, and that you'll hear more about that. So, so that's the year. We'll be going over these on a monthly basis. We'll be having monthly district Zoom meetings. regardless if we're back face-to-face or not, we're going to be having monthly assistant governor meetings to stay connected to everybody. So that's the plan for the year. And, again, it's a pleasure to lead in 2021 or 2020. Looking forward to it. I'd like to now introduce Judy Siegel. So
Thank you, Tony.
I'm gonna don't go yet. I'm just gonna tell people who you are.
Okay, go for it.
You are from the Liberty Rotary Club, and you've been a Rotarian for 9 years. Judy is the better half of the duo of President-elect Gary Siegel from the Liberty Rotary Club, and they do good stuff and they get stuff done. That's probably not exactly the way they call it and say it, but we're fortunate to have Judy as our district service chair. And Judy, please take it away.
Well, thank you very much, Tony. Now it's my turn. Thank you very much.
Yes.
And I have happily been introduced by Tony and told that our speaker is very happy to introduce himself. So I would let you know that I'm very proud to kick off these district service days. I think it's really exciting that you all have done what you've done to put it together, and I thank you for the time you put into it. And I'm just going to very quickly go into introducing Jonathan Gonzalez, who's the president of the Rotary E-Club of Wall Street in New York. And Jonathan, you can take that away. It's all yours.
Sure, thank you, Judy. This is Jason Gonzalez from the Rotary E-Club of Wall Street.
Sorry, Jason. Blew that.
Being an E-Club member, I have the luxury of being wherever I want in the world. And right now, I'm actually in Michigan, Southeast Michigan, staying with my family during this time. So it was really a coincidence that I moved away from New York City right when this pandemic all started. But I've been really fortunate to be staying connected with Rotary back in the Northeast. All my fellow members and especially across the district, and it's a privilege to be invited to this district's event. So thank you everyone for hearing me and letting me share a little bit about my club and my own experience giving back, because that's really what Rotary is about, and that's what inspired me to become a Rotarian. Back in about 2012, I actually first learned of Rotary, and this was while I was a student at Pace University. A friend of mine said there was this association, this organization that gives back to nonprofits, and they're all about volunteering and helping out in the community. And I thought, oh, that's amazing. I think he was more into it for the networking and connections, but in the end, it all kind of blends together because service is obviously a great shared experience. So after being a Rotary actor for many years, my sponsor club was actually the Rotary Club of Wall Street. And then I grew into become a Rotarian last year. So this is my second year as a Rotarian with many familiar faces over the past 7 years. I'm going to go ahead and share my screen a little bit or very quickly to show you guys my club's website, the Rotary E-Club of Wall Street here. wallstreetrotary.org if you want to learn more about my club. And as you can see just from our front page, this is something we prioritize is sharing our service experience. This is a group of us volunteering at the Bowery Mission in the Lower East Side of Manhattan. And about once every other month, we have a full shift dedicated to 12 or 14 of our members who serve food to homeless and low-income community members. When we originally evolved our club from a traditional club to an E-Club a couple of years ago, we thought, how do we brand ourselves? And really all an E-Club is about, it's not about losing anything. It's about adding, and it's about reaching more people to really make a bigger impact, in which you guys are experiencing at this time. You see the feasibility of having online meetings, and maybe attendance rates have increased in your own club meetings. Maybe it's easier, more convenient. You can spend time with your children, spend time with your dog, your family, and not have to leave to the meeting and still keep that. So what I want to share with you today is about how you can still give back, maybe in different ways during this COVID time. Just gonna, yes. So my E-Club is very international. We have 30 members in 13 major cities in the world. There's many across Germany and Europe. There's some in West Africa, in Central America, across the US too, and one in Japan. So we're making our way to Asia as well. What we like to say is we just add innovation to Rotary's traditional spirit. About a couple of months ago, we all know that the New York City area started to shut down, New Jersey and in New York and in the US and all across the world. And that was our chance to step up with what we already knew. One of the ways we've been incentivizing our members to continuously give back is by subsidizing meeting fees for when our members in, say, Germany and Hamburg, where the convention was hosted last year. If our Hamburg members want to connect more with on-the-ground clubs, what we've been doing is subsidizing every meeting fee with $20 to make it easier for them to connect in person and to get involved in service, because our club isn't greedy. We just want to give back, and it doesn't matter if they give back through our own sort of sanctioned club projects or if they give back through other clubs' projects. Partnership is key, really, in our eyes, because it really retains that traditional feeling. So a couple of months ago, we had that experience of connecting with other clubs. And so we stepped up and we responded to COVID-19 in a few ways. Number one was connecting with multiple clubs in Haiti and a young entrepreneur, Smith, here in this photo. Smith was a participant in an entrepreneurship camp that many of our members were involved in a few years back, and he was trained to become a social entrepreneur. So with his skills that a few of our members had shared with him, he created his own backpack manufacturing business. And with COVID, he transformed his factory into a face mask producing factory. And with that, we've donated we've actually paid for these masks, paid for 1,300 of them, and now they're being distributed in Detroit, where I am, to the homeless community here, to homeless community in New York City through the Bowery Mission, which I showed you we volunteer at regularly, to the elderly community in Haiti, in Port-au-Prince, Haiti, so that caretakers of elderly have face masks and protect them. And around Germany and Hamburg and Berlin, we're distributing these masks. So it's a nice blend of youth service, so teaching youth the skills that they're needed to be successful have successful careers, and our vocational service with our members being legal experts, marketing experts, entrepreneurs, sharing those skills with young people. And then now community service, which in our case is kind of a two-pronged thing. We have community service, international service, often blended together. I'm going to, sorry, I can't see with the tab. One way that we have given back recently, also to jump from COVID, is by partnering on a global grant. So in the Rotary world, you might have heard Dr. Pia Scarabis from Berlin, Germany. She spoke at the convention in Hamburg last year. She's a doctor who provides medical care to refugees. And we've been connected ever since the first e-club meeting that we had a couple of years ago, when she spoke to our club and shared her medical work. Some of our members stepped up to help her translate her documents into different languages. Being international, that's a skill that many of our members have, is being multilingual. In addition, they've also done marketing support for her to create marketing and communication materials. About 9 months ago now, she created a project to provide mental health care to her refugee community that she serves. And our club stepped up with a $10,000 grant, and our club members are volunteering in her local clinic to do this, to support administratively. Going back to community service, similarly to the mask distribution, we've also procured hygiene kits. This was funded actually in part by our district through a district grant, which we applied for last August. And we were planning in March to distribute hygiene kits coincidentally through our New York City network. It just sort of happened to be very convenient timing that we had this funding on backup. And so we did extra fundraising, and we raised about $4,000 for these hygiene kits, and they were spread out through partner organizations in each of our major cities where we're at: Hamburg and New York and Berlin. Being an e-club, we have the opportunity to convene experts. And what I want to point out too is all of us are e-clubs at this time, really. And this is a great opportunity to get that speaker who maybe had too busy of a schedule, or get that speaker who couldn't travel to your meeting, or you just missed them before they flew away from New York or New Jersey or the tri-state area. So it wasn't easy for them to join. Now's a chance for us to share Rotary and what we're doing, and also to tap into your nonprofit partners. So what we did was partner with Dr. P.S. Farabis again, and we brought in a former Prime Minister of Haiti because of our mask project, and also a CEO from Germany to talk about hygiene during this time. Not only was it a traditional meeting with a panel style meeting, but also giving back to the community and wider network to inform them about how to take care of themselves through proper hygiene, or through sharing or not spreading misinformation. I shared a bit about our hygiene kits in the communities, which was covered by German news networks as well. We're sure to always post these things on our Facebook and our Instagram. So, and I highly encourage all of you to also post pictures of your community service projects, or even your online activities. My sharing was paused. I'm just going to. As I mentioned, my club has 30 members in 13 major cities, and my screen had gone away. Here we go. Sorry. Because we're a new e-club, we're still learning how to operate to the best of our abilities. So that's one thing that we implemented, was subsidizing meeting fees, because we learned our members really want to be hands-on and meet other Rotarians. That's what Rotary is about, is connecting and making more impact. What we've been doing during COVID too is documenting some of our e-meeting insights. So on this page, wallstreetrotary.org/COVID-19, you'll find this link to a Google document, shares a little bit about how to plan with speakers, technical functions of Zoom, sharing your agenda, how to moderate a meeting, things like that. So we spread it across all of our district almost immediately once we learned that the state was shutting down. So I just want to point that out as a part of club service. It doesn't have to necessarily be big and splashy, but even sharing a document or tips and tricks is giving back to the larger Rotary community. If anybody has any questions, please do feel free to put them in the chat or unmute and ask at any time. Can I just ask for a time check?
Yeah,
About
you
5
have,
minutes?
go ahead.
About 5 minutes, Jason?
Perfect. So then in that case, I'll open it up for questions if anyone has any, or if I can share anything.
So everyone's muted right now, but if anybody wants to put that in their question in the chat box, Jason will see that and can answer those live.
I know there was one from Molly Olson about, is your club international?
Yes, very. And I also see a question about recruiting members for our e-club. We've been fortunate that a lot of our existing members who were originally with a traditional club were already regular travelers and had networks abroad. So that was an easy way to branch out and bring membership numbers up in our own district without having to do much effort internationally. It was more friends and word of mouth referrals. Since we've been having practice, we've learned that traditional clubs in our district will act, and even in communities where we have friends, will refer their potential members who maybe weren't a great match because of scheduling conflicts or something. They'll refer their potential members to our club to become e-members. And I see a question too around the types of fundraisers we do. So we tend to focus on our international projects for visible fundraising, like this hygiene kits that spread internationally, or their masks. And we often get a lot of corporate sponsorships too. Even right off the bat, when we had our first e-meeting, we had a $2,500 check written to Dr. P.S. Garabas for her relief work with refugees. What we haven't been so adamant about doing is matching gifts. But that's something to definitely look into and encourage all of your donors to see if their companies or organizations will match their gifts to your projects, especially if you have a foundation or a 501c3 status. Yes, I'll write my, we meet via Zoom, the same platform you're on, and we keep our Zoom button visible on our front page, and it's always free to attend. We've just gotten a new member just because she was referred to one of our meetings and she started to donate to these projects, and now she's a member of our club, which we're really excited about. So with these e-meetings, since there's no cost, we definitely keep them free. And our membership ranges from about 28 to about mid 60s. And with language differences, most of our members speak English either as a second language or a primary language. And we haven't had a challenge around that just yet. The hygiene kits included shampoo, toothpaste, toothbrush, comb, and bars of soap. And we also donated another 1,500 bars of soap to supplement them. And a potential member, how would a potential member pick a virtual club? I think it's just like picking any Rotary club. It's about who you connect with. And we try to keep our club very, very casual. We have a WhatsApp group actually for every member, and we have a separate WhatsApp group for interested members. We share all of our meeting updates on those. And we also share all of our project spotlights, and our social media public relations chair always shares links to our posts on those to engage and stay up to date. Sometimes we have too many WhatsApp groups with all the different projects. They have their own, but it's very handy and kind of keeps that friendly feeling. We don't just want to feel like we're going to another business meeting online.
Okay, Jason, we need to move along. We're gonna ask. Thank you so much. Very informative and informational. I think you're going to be able to bounce into some of the breakout rooms, so we can continue some of that discussion about your club and the services that your club does in some of the breakout rooms. So, I want to get back to Judy Siegel. Judy, please take it over.
Right. Thank you, Jason. That was amazing. And what I'm most intrigued with is that you're able to find projects to do internationally all over the place. Sometimes clubs struggle with projects that they need to do in their own communities. And I think it's pretty amazing that you can do this around the world. And I think that's pretty awesome. So very briefly, I don't want to go through the all the goals you see on your screen, the district service priorities and goals that have been created for next year by the leadership. And I won't go through intensely the service days because Tony took care of that, but I just want people to make note and to hear these days often. September 12th, a day towards COVID-19. We don't know what that's going to look like, but make sure that it's sort of on your radar so that we can determine how we can make a difference and help people in their lives. The October 17th coat drive last year was amazing. We did a great job with that in working together and trying to connect our district so we can promote more. And that's the whole idea of these service days. If we can do more together than we can independently. So it's really important to think about how to work together and collaborate with other clubs in your area and across the district, and make a huger impact. And then as we get into February, a lot of us do food drives, a lot of us do, for Thanksgiving, a lot of our clubs do food pantries for Thanksgiving and Christmas. We should, on February 28th, redirect that again so that we have an opportunity to help fill those pantries that maybe have gone dry. And this year in particular, the coat drive and the food drive, both, I'm going to say that there's probably going to be a greater need. There are people who are doing without regularly, and it's to be aware of and to sort of plan now for how we can do that as clubs and collaborate with the clubs in our region and all together. I'll mention again in a couple minutes, but I think it's a really awesome thing that Sullivan County, which is a very poor county, has managed to, with the Livingston Manor and the Monticello and Liberty clubs, regularly work together and maintain their own independence as they do that, so that they have their own identities, but we are stronger in numbers than we are individually. And it's something that we're all very proud of, and also very effective at, working together to make our communities better. So that's pretty terrific. So as part of the 5 goals for service, the service days are one, and Cindy did create that last year, and I think it's an outstanding opportunity for our clubs to join forces. The second one is to sponsor a new or modified community service project. And that's sort of why I was intrigued with Jason, that there are so many opportunities to give, both in our own communities and around the world. So pick one. It could be a litter pluck. It could be as simple as a litter pluck. It could be as simple as giving dictionaries to the community. But there are opportunities for every club, and every club, even if you're just a small club and you don't have a lot of members, and in fact, maybe you're just a check writing club that doesn't have the energy at this time to do more, find a club next to you, find a club around the region that you can join forces with, and give them money, or maybe one of your members wants to help through that. Social media and these e-meetings, these virtual meetings, have made it easier than ever to work together and to get things done. So use the tools and the skills that your club has. If you need help with any of them, the district leadership and I are available to help with that, to help you find those tools and help you find what you are best at in how to provide service for your community, and have fun doing it. And you know, there's always the goal through all of this of doing good and having fun. And we all know that it's better to give when you're having a good time doing it. So find the projects that are fun, find one. And again, if you see a neighboring community doing something that's fun, see if you can jump on top of that. If you don't want to create your own new service project, we can all help each other to grow differently, and that has value. Number 3, shelter boxes. You know what? Shelter box, I would imagine that all 86 people on this Zoom meeting are familiar with shelter boxes. If you're not, please call Louis Turpin. He'll help you be so. They're amazing, and they're a great opportunity to help in disaster relief all around the world. And one of the values of shelter boxes is certainly that you can donate money, you can donate a small amount, or you can buy a whole box. Everybody and every club in the district should be supporting shelter box. I'd also like to encourage every club to support each other in all of our efforts as part of that support. I think that the Poughkeepsie Arlington Vassar Haiti Project does incredible things. The Spring Valley Club STEP project does incredible things. The disaster relief efforts that are done in the communities do incredible things. Help each other and help promote through social media what each other does. If you see it on Facebook, share it. If your club has an opportunity to donate, please donate and help each other do the service that we're all getting so good at, and providing opportunities to the world to help them make their lives a little bit better. And that's what we all want to do. And in so doing, we are sort of managing to grow Rotary and to make Rotary a more effective and noticeable force. I think it's important in our communities to help each other. And so whether it's Shelter Box, which we all need to support, or the disaster relief programs, or the Vassar Haiti Project, look and see what you can do. And so many clubs around the district have been supportive of the things that we in Liberty have done. So I hope that that is true elsewhere, and I hope that that continues to be true. I think there's great opportunities for everybody to help. The 4th goal that has been set out is to involve your Interact and your Rotaract. You know, Jason's a great example. He was our future, and now he's here. We don't have a Rotaract in our region, but we have very strong Interact clubs. And what I find is that when we involve them, more things get done even more effectively. People don't like to say no to kids. So you have a fundraiser, you have a raffle that you're selling in front of your supermarket, or a food drive that you're doing in front of your supermarket. Use the Interact Club and help them learn how to familiarize themselves with you and what you do, because they are a future, but we are their role models. And we are their opportunity to see how they can grow to be someone like Jason, who's affecting so many lives around the world. And if we don't reach out to them and engage them, then they won't know what we do. And honestly, we don't know what they do. And this is a great opportunity. A lot of our clubs are older. What a great chance to learn what the youth is doing. And again, engage them in teaching you how to use social media. Help them market your projects because they're good at that. So I think that that's a really important thing. Like I said, they're our future. And I think Jason is an outstanding example of what that looks like. And I think that that can be really rewarding for them and for us. And lastly, that COVID-19 service project, so many have done so much, and there's probably so much to do. There's no telling how long this is going to keep us at e-meetings, and how long we'll need masks, and how many people are sick, and how many people are scared. So I think together there are opportunities to collaborate and think of how we can help our small communities and the community at large. Liberty, and I apologize for keep going back, but obviously I'm the most familiar with that. Liberty Monticello and Livingston Manor just collaborated in this incredible project to raise money for, we raised money, we purchased food from local restaurants, and that food was delivered to hospital workers and first responders. And it supported the community, and it supported the first responders, and it gave people so much information about Rotary, so that in Monticello, they just inducted 3 new members last week. I'm told it's in good part because of what they learned about Rotary through the project that we were just doing. So there's growth opportunities through those events, and collaborating with other clubs virtually is an incredible opportunity, because you can just sort of go back and forth and develop ideas for what we can do in this horrible pandemic to grow and to help make the world just a little bit better. And once again, if we can have fun making that happen, then all the better for us and all the better for the community that we're serving. I hope that you all, the one other thing I want to mention is I'm trying very hard to collect information from every club as to what you do. So if you could go back to your assistant governors and return and just send some information about what service projects your club does, it would be really helpful, because it can give ideas so that more collaboration can happen. So thank you.
All right, well, thank you, Judy. So for everyone, we're gonna move into breakout rooms right now. I guess I can put myself on here so you can see me. We're gonna move into breakout rooms right now. So this is something that some of you may have been in meetings that's happened so far, and some of you may not. But basically, we're gonna break up into smaller groups of about 15, 16 people. Each of the breakout rooms is going to have a discussion leader. All the discussion leaders are assistant governors. You're also going to see Jason popping in and out of the rooms, as well as Judy and some of the district leadership. But the idea behind this is really to have a smaller discussion, share ideas, ask each other questions, and really just kind of have some fun with it. So it's going to be about 20 minutes. When we come back from the breakout rooms, we're going to have just a quick recap from the discussion leaders of something unique that was discussed in your room. We're going to have a wrap up from Tony, and we'll be done at 8:15. So in just about a moment, I'm going to send you to your breakout rooms, and have fun.
of healthiness. So here we are having a luau out in a field with a tent and a party atmosphere, and how we were going to have the theme that the district had in being healthy, right? This is an evening event. People are in a good spirit to have a good time and whatnot. So we invited in a couple of organizations to put up tables at the entrance to our place, and kind of remind people to, you know, maybe not overindulge, if you will. It was tough. We were trying to figure out how to make it a worthwhile participatory, you know, event that the district asked us to participate in and still have a good time. And we figured it out. It wasn't easy, but we figured it out.
But it's definitely making us think outside the box on how to create income without, you know, creating an event. I don't know. It's definitely an interesting situation.
They had a virtual horse race, right?
True.
Maybe there's a way. I mean, we're struggling with the same thing in that how do we have a fundraiser when we can't, you know, use our hands? And one of the concepts I had discovered from years ago, our hospital in Warwick had a fundraiser online. It was a silent. It wasn't so silent. It was an auction, online auction. So I'm looking at that as a potential way to raise funds. The only problem I've heard from people who have done it is those entities that support those online auctions take a lot of the profit. So if there's anybody out there that's ever done that and has a good idea for what resource that wouldn't take, you know, 80% of the profits, I'm interested.
Ed, let me find that out for you because a friend of mine works in
clubs when they respond to needs that are out there.
right.
They have a relationship
Well,
with. Go ahead.
sorry, Peter. Walkill Eastwood's going to do the international, the children. Oh my gosh, I'm having a brain freeze here. You know, I'm sorry.
UNICEF?
No, maybe. I'm sorry. It's 8 o'clock on Thursday night. So yeah, we were fostering, you know, like a child from France was coming here to stay. Youth exchange. Thank you. I'm sorry. We had that all set up, but unfortunately that had to stop.
Yes. Yes. Well, go ahead, Jerry.
Okay. Yeah, my home club, 91 West Kayak, they just started with they're applying for a global grant for Share Africa. It's for orphanages in Kenya. It was a program that was done years ago, and they're reinserting it now. So I hope we get it. And but we've had 2 fundraisers for it already, and then the virus came, so I don't know where we stand.
Well, I was saying before, it's very easy to make a relationship with other Rotarians. When the Liberty Club decided to go help Haiti after their hurricanes, they just called a couple clubs and looked up the presidents in the rosters, called them on the phone and talked over things, situations on the ground there. Then they picked a club to pair up with, and now the members of the Liberty Club are best friends with 4 or 5 members of a club in Boca, Puerto Rico, and they've wrapped in several district people like myself, Cindy and Tony, and others to go down with them, and it's a tremendous experience. So I would say on the international front, even if you cannot pair up with a club yourself or think of, it's hard to think of an idea, a reason to call them. But if you cannot, just get together with a neighboring club and see what they're doing and see if you can join in with them. That would be great. How about Rotary Showcase? Anybody been putting their projects out there? Just Wallkill East, right? No.
Well, I think we all have put them out there to get our grants, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And now we're shifting and pivoting to phase 2, where we ended that last Sunday, and we have the 3 clubs. We have the Liberty Club, the Monticello Rotary Club, and the Fallsburg Lions Club are going to put our resources together, and we're working to identify families that are in need to be able to provide meals for them through a program that's already in place called a Single Bite. That's where we're pivoting to at this point.
Mary Kay, you had something?
Yes. So what I found interesting, being of course Rotarians, you want to jump in and help wherever you can. And we had an idea, but early on in our Zoom meetings, we were very careful to say, what do we want to do that's actually going to be a help? Let's go into the people that we want to help and say, will this help you? As opposed to just jumping off the diving board. We had originally, thought, wow, wouldn't it be a great idea to make a kind of like a plexiglass thing that people could visit with loved ones in a nursing home. And everyone was on board, and we were ready to fund it, and we're going, and the nursing home said, that's going to cost us so much money to maintain, insurance if someone gets sick, so we were very careful about that, so we pulled back. But the little things, I'm just listing in my head all those little things that we're doing, the necessity bags for emergency care workers, delivering meals from restaurants, putting money into the restaurants in our community, people going out and doing things like that. I mean, it doesn't, the numbers aren't 26,000, but what I love again about Rotary is if everyone does something, we're all helping, and it makes a difference, and that I'm really, really excited about.
Highland we exhausted the local hotels and took all their inventory of supplies for the healthcare workers. We distributed them all out, and now we got a grant. We turned a grant in for COVID to continue to help these people, because there's going to be a second wave of this. So we want to be ready. We want to get supplies on board and keep these people. They need this stuff. They need to be able to clean themselves up and go home to their families. And it was a need. It was requested. And to support the local restaurants, our club has picked a restaurant every Friday in our community to buy dinner from or take out. So we really are looking to keep in touch and help everybody out.
Scott, do you feel comfortable talking a little bit about the Adopt a Family project that Wallkill East had?
So, PR do you do? So, how do you let the community, your community, know that you're doing these things? How are you spreading the awareness of what it is that we do? Anybody want to talk about that? Who hasn't talked? Go ahead, Larry.
Okay. Talking about specifically the road cleanup. Our club does it, and about maybe 5 years ago, we ordered 2 of those A-frame signs. The large ones that you see outside stores possibly, that filled with sand or water. And we had the signage on the sign, caution Rotary Club street cleaning and road cleaning up ahead. It was twofold. One, to tell everybody that we're doing it, and secondly, to watch out for the people that are on the road ahead of you. So we put it at the start of the 2-mile section, and we put it at the end of the 2-mile section. And plus, we all wear yellow shirts, Rotarians at work, and you know, when we're out there, they know who we are.
Very good. Who have we heard from? Chris, have we heard from you yet? Chris Shell? Okay. So do you guys feel that your service
Sorry,
projects are, oh, go ahead, hit it. Go ahead, Chris.
Trying to unmute myself. There we go. Yeah, no, so we have a lot of different things. A lot of different people get involved. We tend to collaborate with our local community organizations. And so we use both some of our sort of emails around to all of our folks and also theirs. So that's another reason why working with collaborating local communities like our community center can be good, because they put it out, we put it out, everybody puts it out. You know, websites, emails, everything.
Why don't you tell us about a couple of the service projects that your club's involved in?
You know, if Jen's on here, Jen actually was involved in one recently that is a new one for us. They collaborated, and I wasn't able to participate in this one, but a whole bunch of our members collaborated with the community center to do a food distribution. It was very successful, a really good effort. So that was good. You know, a community kind of a food pantry thing, but there was fresh food there. There was, you know, it was a special event day for some additional distribution. So.
Cancel their event, and that's a higher percentage than when the event actually takes place. So if you market it right, apparently there's a lot of people who stick with those brands, those companies that sponsor, even though you can't run your event, as long as you give them some publicity, whether it's on Facebook or on the web or something. There's something you can take out to those sponsors and say, hey, you may do better now than you would have had we had the event. And I'm happy to share that.
Do you have an example of your club incorporating a new event, or
it's, well, for us, it's not a new event. For us, I mean, we may put a stage in the parking lot of the fairgrounds and have everybody watch from their cars and broadcast on an FM broadcast, so they can listen to the cars and have some vendors to get food there. There's a lot of logistics we haven't figured out yet, but we can't run Ribfest the way it was run in the past. It's just not going to be safe. There's no way to meet the guidelines.
Let me jump in there, Steve. Your point's well taken. That survey is accurate. In March, we were running our second annual, not so major, but important fundraiser at the bowling alley. And right up until Thursday before the Sunday event, I was holding out on canceling. But then, you know, others convinced me it was probably smart not to do it. So we didn't do it. And the good news was, what your point was, we had corporate sponsors that had donated money that were just saying, keep it, keep it, keep it. And a lot of the people that registered for the bowling told us to keep the registration fee. So there may be something to what you're saying, not to dismiss an event that's not happening because you're not going to make money. If you can present it in another way, you might get some donation.
And I think that's one of the things that we're going to focus here on the district assemblies moving forward is now that we're going to thrust into this, you know, and we say it, right? We say it a lot, you know, just because that's the way we've always done it isn't the right way to do it.
And I've been taking some notes here, and we'll share them in the recap. And it sounds like everybody's looking to pivot, and everybody's going to be dynamic in this shift. But what I'll encourage is, what I want to know is about new ideas. So let's hopefully keep this conversation going about how new fundraisers, because we do have new service projects to plan, like the COVID service project. Judy, did you?
Good, Tony.
Okay, folks. Well, that was very interesting. First experience for the breakout rooms. What I'd like to have is the discussion leaders just in 1 minute give something salient that came out of your breakout room. So first up is Matt Eiler. Matt.
Hey, how you doing? I thought that was pretty productive. I thought it worked logistically pretty well, the way it all broke out. And I think it was nice to be able to have a smaller group and actually have some interaction and discussion. A lot of people are doing a lot of good things in my group, at least. A lot of COVID-related stuff and lots of other stuff. But I think I'll share that's interesting because we don't do it in New Paltz. Is we were asking about how you get the community to actually participate in your service projects, because that can increase visibility. It could be a source of new membership, and it's like, more hands make lighter work. So a number of the clubs do road cleanup type of stuff, which we don't here, but I think it's a great idea. I think Larry was saying that they put up signs before, so, as a safety thing, hey, Rotary workers ahead, you wear Rotary shirts, but also they get other people in the community to do this work. So I think that's a cool project, and it's nice because it's sort of inherently visible. People that maybe aren't in your circle of friends and associates might see the Rotary on the side, wonder what it is, and maybe reach out and maybe participate in a future year.